and welcome back to the Bookworm Reviews. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, I mentioned last week, if you watched that video, that we're going to be reviewing Colleen Hoover's November 9. If you've been here a while, the first book I ever did for the Bookworm Reviews was actually Colleen Hoover's Verity novel. That one was very different from her usual sort of writing style. If any of you have read any of her other novels, including Verity, you know that Verity was very different from what she normally writes, her typical more light romance, if you will. And that one was definitely, I was not expecting that kind of book from her. A fun fact, though, is that I believe Colleen Hoover is writing another novel similar to Verity, the sort of thriller romance style book. So definitely something to keep an eye out from her in the future coming up. I will be watching out for those kinds of books because she actually wrote Verity very well. So I'm excited to see if she's going to do another book like that as well. Now, talking about November 9th from her, it was published November 10th, 2015. So it's one of her slightly older novels that she did, and it follows Fallon. Now, Fallon's dad is an actor in Los Angeles, and Fallon, growing up with him, sort of followed in his footsteps. He was sort of an acting coach to her. She did end up getting an acting job when she was about 14 or 15, I would say. That ended very quickly because when she was 16 years old, she was staying at her dad's house. Her parents are divorced. Whilst at her dad's house, his house set on fire, and he forgot that Fallon was actually staying with him. And so when the fire department came and she was upstairs sleeping, he completely forgot she was there. And she ended up getting burns all down the side of her left body, on her arm, her face, as well as her ribs and down. And so that actually kind of adds to Fallon's sort of character in the sense that you're reading from a perspective of a burn victim, of a burn survivor, and you're sort of seeing how that impacts sort of Fallon now. This takes place when she's 18 years old is when we start the book. And so you sort of see, because of that, how she sort of struggles with some self-confidence, even having these burns on half of her face, and how she hides herself with her hair, and how she sees herself and shows herself out to the world, and how that also impacts sort of her first meeting with Ben, the also main love interest for Fallon as well. This is the Sherwood Park Bookworm. We're an independent, locally owned bookstore off of Wye Rd, behind the Smileys and next to the Park Mazda. We've been open for 34 years and have recently moved into the Wye Rd location 5 years ago. It is run by Weisgerber. We have a large selection of books, all the way from mystery and suspense, self-help, we have romance, westerns, classics, poetry, and so much more. And we pride ourselves on a wonderful young adult section and children's. We have gift cards that you can purchase for great gifts, and so much more at the Bookworm. We would love for you to come and check us out. So it's different to read that sort of character that we see with Fallon. So Ben, who is the other main character, he is a writer and he is, I believe, in college, wants to do sort of novels and poetry is where he's leaning towards in his writing career. And he's actually at the restaurant when they first meet each other. She's at the restaurant with her dad, explaining to her dad how she wants to move to New York for different work opportunities since acting isn't really going so well and her contracts for her acting careers were pulled after the accident in the fire. And Ben is also at the restaurant a couple seats away working on a novel when he hears Fallon and her father arguing about her moving to New York and how her father's not really supportive. He keeps coming back to sort of the burns and how it affected her acting career. She needs to move on from that and sort of that conflict between them when Ben comes over and sort of backs her up in the conversation. And that's when they two meet, and that's when the story sort of follows them afterwards. So Ben, I really actually do like Ben. He is a little bit more hesitant towards relationships in the beginning, but of course he warms up to that a little bit more. I do like his personality. He is into poetry, so he does mention some poetic terms and some little excerpts common in poetry. So that's kind of nice to see that sort of passion of his as well as Fallon's and her sort of passion for acting, how she wants to go to New York and give it a shot on Broadway. So I love their relationship. I love them as characters. I both really fell in love with both their characters, of course, which I love as well. Now, if you Hi, and welcome to the Bookworm Reviews. This is our show where we go into depth about reviewing books that we hope our customers could definitely get into. We review books for everyone. We're here at the Bookworm. I'm Kailey Weisgerber, the host, and I work here with my mom, Leanne Weisgerber, the owner of the store. Come check us out off Wye Rd. Read the back of the book. It does mention at the end sort of an ultimate plot twist. If you read Colleen Hoover books, you know that towards sort of just before the end, she throws in a plot twist, a curveball, something that really adds and spices up the story, which I really like about her. You're never going to get bored reading her stories because she always adds something in there that just completely throws you off from the story, which honestly does add to the story. It always makes it better. And this plot twist really did send me. I don't want to spoil it, of course, because you got to read it to just really get the full experience. But this one was such a great novel for that. I love that she adds those sort of plot twists of hers. It really adds to her sort of writing and her novels, of course, and this one is no exception to that. So I would definitely check this book out. If you're trying to get into Colleen Hoover, I know her It Ends With Us, which talks about domestic abuse, and Verity, which is a completely crazy novel on its own. If you want to get into Colleen Hoover, because I know she's a really taking off author, lots of people love her books, this is definitely a better one to start off with, I think so, from her. It's a little bit more ease into her sort of writing styles. And I love this book, of course, talks about LA and acting, which I love actors as well. So seeing Fallon sort of in that sort of realm, if you will, is a really lovely story. This is a great story and another great novel by Colleen Hoover. You really can't go wrong with any of her books. I love Ben and I love Fallon as characters and their relationship with each other. This all takes place, I believe, within a day, if not a little bit more, because Fallon, of course, is moving to New York the following day, and they basically only have the day to fall in love and really hang out and get to know each other, and how that kind of affects their relationship considering she's moving across the country. So website for the Sherwood Park Bookworm. There is so many books listed on there, some of which from the store we have. You can go on there and check them out. We do shipping directly to you, and you can buy them online from the store. There's also many genres listed on there individually. You have adult section, mystery, suspense, and so much more. You can check out directions on how to get here, as well as upcoming events and so much more on our Definitely a great book by Colleen Hoover to check out, of course. If you come back next week, we'll be doing 5 Feet Apart. I actually went and saw the movie for this one for my 15th birthday, and so I'm happy to read the book for this one as well after watching the movie for that. Cole Sprouse plays the main character, which I grew up watching Cole Sprouse, so I love that he was in the movie, so I'm excited to review the book with you guys. And I would also like to mention that if you're looking for the Fringe guides, here they are, the Festival Guide for the Fringe in Edmonton. We have them here at the Bookworm. They are available until August 21st. You can come get them. I believe they're $12. We're the only store in Sherwood Park that is selling them as of currently. So definitely stop by and come get them if you're interested in getting those fringe guides. They're selling quick, so make sure you get there fast to get them. And as well, a special thank you to, of course, Shig's Flowers. I have a beautiful arrangement from here, which I love so much because I feel like it really matches the cover of the novel this week. It's a lovely arrangement, a little different from last week's, so they have lots to choose from, lots to pick from. Great for anniversaries, for gifts, for spicing up. I know it's a little rainy here today, so this is definitely going to add some lovely color into the store. So definitely check them out. Thank you so much to Shig's Flowers, and we'll see you next week. This is the Sherwood Park Bookworm. We're an independent, locally owned bookstore off of Wye Rd, behind the Smileys and next to the Park Mazda. We've been open for 34 years and have recently moved into the Wye Rd location 5 years ago. It is run by Weisgerber. We have a large selection of books, all the way from mystery and suspense, self-help, we have romance, westerns, classics, poetry, and so much more. And we pride ourselves on a wonderful young adult section and children's. We have gift cards that you can purchase for great gifts and so much more at the Bookworm. We would love for you to come and check us out.